Testing. Testing 1, 2. Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, test, test. 1, 2. Is Alan hearing me?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Well, Patrick.
Is all good? Good, thanks. We're good? Good.
Well, Patrick, just start with your thoughts on the organization and where you guys are at after the halfway mark of the season with some inconsistent play, some really good wins in the last 9 or 10 days, and some disappointing losses as well.
Yeah, well, during a full course of a year, I think you go through some adversity, injuries hit, and obviously we got a fair amount of injuries early on here. The lineups have been different, I wouldn't say every night, but most of the night. The coaches have done a really good job. We've seen some highs and some lows. Some really good indications of games like the one you're referring to Saturday here, when we play committed and we're playing to our identity. There has been nights where we haven't seen that. I could say that the inconsistency probably sums it up the first 44 games here. Obviously a test when you're having top players out of your lineup. Roenick was out for extended period of time. Quinn used Demko, Dakota Joshua, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, but I also think that had raised some of the ice temp for the other players that have performed really well.
There's been a lot of talk around your team in the last week or so with regards to potential trades and things like that. What can you tell us about sort of where the organization is, what your thinking is ahead of the trade deadline, and any potential conversations you might be having right now?
I'm not going to go into any specifics and comments on any talks around the league, but since I got here, I always trying to explore to make our team better in discussions and see if it makes sense or not. The toughest part has been to evaluate the group we have with all the injuries, but again, you see the signs of a good team and coming together and playing the right way as we did here against Edmonton, as we did in Toronto a couple of days ago. So we'll continue to see if that makes sense. Obviously, the parity of the league, it's hard to make deals at this time of the year, and it's going to be interesting here over the next couple of weeks.
Patrick, are you comfortable with the way this team is at right now? All the pieces, the way that they are at right now? Are you telling us you're okay to keep it as is?
Well, I do think we always looking to improve, but again, when we're healthy and the players perform to their level, what they're capable of, I believe we have a good team. And going back to what Jim Rutherford said, I believe last year, he said, if everything goes right, we have a playoff team.
What disappoints you the most with what's transpired here in the last 2 months? And I'm speaking both with JT and with Elias Pettersson, with how that's all blown up.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I feel bad for a lot of players when you're reading some rumors out there. I'm proud of the guys that they're capable of blocking a lot of noises out and just go out and play. We want to create an environment where they feel safe and trusted, and I think the players have galvanized and played extremely well under the circumstances.
Elias Pettersson has 54 points in his last 72 games, dating back to last season at the All-Star break. That can't be acceptable production for a guy of his stature with this club.
And I think he's well aware of it. He takes ownership. It's a process for him to become a star player in the league. The work that he's putting in, it's not a finished product yet. I see definitely signs after his injury here that he's playing a solid two-way hockey game, pushing the pace harder, and he will continue to work on his game. And for me, I'm more about the process and playing the right way, and when you do so, the points will come.
Are there any untouchables on this roster, the way that you look at it, aside from Quinn Hughes?
You know what? Again, I'm not going to go in and comment on any specific names or anything. My job is always to listen to see what makes this club better today, tomorrow, and for the future.
You talked hypothetically about how much parity there is in the league. If you were to move a player, but replacing that player in a prime position in your top six mix, how difficult is that? Because those teams are not going to want to part with their premier players.
Yeah, no, that's extremely difficult, and you know, you're going to weight in the dollar amount too. So most of the deals are dollar in, dollar out, and that's just hard to make deals. It's still my job to explore and see what the options are out there, and if it makes sense, then definitely we'll get into it.
What's the prognosis on Dakota? We hear that it may be a hip.
It's a lower body. He's making progress, but I don't believe that he's participating in the full skate yet with the team, so it's probably more a week to week still.
How much urgency is there to make a decision on Brock between now and the trade deadline, to either work towards a contract or get an asset for him?
Yeah, I wouldn't say urgency. I think we're still evaluating him. I have a great relationship with his agent, and when the time is right, we make the decision.
Has it been difficult for you to come to big conclusions about this team because there have been so many pieces missing that you haven't had your top group together very often?
Yeah, you're right, and that's what I said. It's tough to evaluate when you have, as we had our top two defensemen, Roenick and Quinn Hughes out. I believe JT might have missed 10 games. Your top number one center. It's tough for any teams. I thought we had a stretch where we actually played really good on the road trip there in November when JT was out, but we know also how hard it is every game here in the National Hockey League. It's never an easy night, and a lot of teams are still in it. So yeah, it is a little bit difficult.
At this point, how difficult is it to manage and keep things in house when, like before a game on Saturday, there's reports out there that a player might be held out for purpose of a trade? So, in your position, how difficult is that to just make sure things stay in house and the focus is where it needs to be?
Yeah, it is a good question. I do think that I give the players again credit for blocking out the noise. I guess it's easier for me to deal with it, but I think for the players, I think that's something we're trying to create here too. And Rick did a good job assessing that and getting his message through since he got in here that when you're in here at Rogers Arena, you're just focused on the game. So I thought the players, as I said, they played an extremely good game on Saturday. So they did a good job.
I know from the start of training camp, there were questions about the composition of your defense. And yes, Quinn's missed a little time, and obviously Philip was out longer than that. But are you comfortable with sort of the lack of puck moving lower on the depth chart on your defense core?
I think that those are things that when we constructed our overall team with the amount of money and what was available in the offseason, that was something we talked about. Whoever, the way we want to play, we want to play a fast game, and obviously with Quinn and Roenick being out, it makes it a challenge. You're asking guys to play more minutes. You're asking them to do more. You're asking Tyler Myers to run the power play, which might not be his strength. But again, you're watching at times where our defense have shut down elite power around the league in games against Toronto, Colorado, Edmonton. The way we want to play and giving up 15 shots against Edmonton here Saturday, I think our defense might be criticized for a lot of things, but in the end of the day, they're extremely capable of defending. And the way I see it, it's a five-man unit. So when our forwards are tracking back and supporting, it makes it easier for our defense. And the same thing goes with the transition game, where we are united and playing as a team when we're moving pucks fast. So I wouldn't say that it's just the defense. I think our overall game hasn't been to the level that probably it's needed to be consistent.
And what about, like, I know the coaches have a style they want this team to play, but you are also in the entertainment business. Like, are you comfortable with a team that's near the bottom in shots on goal on a nightly basis?
Well, if you see around the league, yeah, good teams, it's hard to create goals, and I believe that the fans want to see a team who win hockey games more than scoring goals and losing. I mean, if a high-octane offensive team as Edmonton only had 15 shots, I take the pride in that and winning the game that way. I have no problem. I think in the end of the day, the fans deserve to see good hockey, and the fans deserve to see a team they're winning.
Then what about the home record this year? I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't seen a lot of wins here.
No, that's a concern, and it's not good enough up to this point for sure.
Have you seen enough in Lankinen, or do you need to see more in the second half, Patrick, because he is playing more? He's had a couple of off nights, but aside from Quinn, he's probably your co-MVP.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin came in here with a great attitude and has played really well. I sure want to see Demko more the second half, and he's been, tracking here back and healthy, and we're very happy to have both of them in there.
Patrick, how surprised are you in terms of the inconsistency of this team? And I say that because usually we think consistency, it's a young group. This is a veteran group, and for whatever reason, and I know you can point to injuries, but even still, it's been surprisingly inconsistent.
Yeah, no, you're right, and part of it is expectations too. I think a lot of teams respect our team and coming in and play us hard every night. And if you're not ready, committed, if you think you need to put up a cuter play or be creative, make things happen at home here, you get penalized on and you get scored on. Again, I think when we're playing to our identity, playing strict, playing as a team, we can wear the other team down, and we're playing fast. But it's hard. The hardest part in the league is to be consistent. It's the hardest thing.
Patrick, last year we saw with moves, you guys opted to make the trades before the All-Star game. Are you kind of using that Four Nations time as kind of a target that if you are going to make a move that you want to make it before that that tournament starts?
I don't think we have any target dates or anything like that. I with the injuries we had leading up to this point, I've obviously been very active and see if there is any players out there that could have come in and helped us. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to facilitate any addition to our staff. But saying that, we also have seen a lot of younger players from Abbotsford, which has been a great sign and for the organization.
When we talked a few weeks ago, you said that you were prepared to make a trade if you had to, especially about the top end of the lineup. Are you still in that position? Do you still think you need to change something up at the top?
Well, again, I think that's where things that Rick and I are talking about on a daily basis, how we play. Obviously, as I said, both Miller and Petey has been out there. Brock Besser had a concussion, was out. I think that's extremely difficult for any team in this league to have your kind of a star players being out and not performing to the level that we all know that they're capable of. So again, if it makes sense and the money fits for us, we definitely are open for it.
You mentioned time before. The time right now, might be difficult with parity. As you get closer to the trade deadline, do you think that opens things up? Does that make a difference?
It could be. It could be. I think teams would have a little bit more cap space if they accrued, and so do have we. So it will definitely be interesting here over the next couple of weeks to see.
And where are things at with Brock? I mean, he loves being here.
Yeah, and again, like we know Brock and the conversation and evaluating, and again, it two sides of it too. It's going to work for both sides long term, and anything can happen here I guess, any day.
Patrick, in discussing your defense, you focused at length about what it looks like when your team plays the right way, and clearly, given the inconsistency, your team hasn't been there every night. How do you evaluate the why there, beyond the absences? Sort of there's been that inconsistency of buy-in.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that Rick and I discussing, and we're well aware of that. We had a lot of new players starting the season. That was a little bit of a challenging for us to find the basic style of play. We also had, Forbert missed some time, and he's been a big piece and an important piece for us on the penalty kill. But again, I think there is a combination of wanting to take this team to another level versus the reality that there was still a lot of basic works to be done here. And I thought after the first 10 games, Rick took a step back and started to implement and focus on the basics. And I thought since that has been better.
With this core group, since you've come in, you've really believed that you could win with them. You've extended them long-term, worked to sort of supplement the group. And last season, when they sort of paid off that confidence, a lot of what we heard after you made many deals was they've earned this opportunity. What, at the moment, are you thinking of in terms of your relationship to that group and sort of what they've earned over the balance of the season?
Well, we all seen when they're playing at their best and what they're capable of. They're still very good players. Age-wise, it's intriguing group. The kind of the core here. They're committed to play here. They're committed to work towards getting back up to the level they're capable of, and I do still believe that we have a good core here.
And just obviously, it's been so loud around JT specifically over the course of this weekend. Is there anything at this point that you can just sort of tell fans about your posture or the club's posture regarding that player?
Again, I don't want to comment on any individual specific players here. I was really pleased with JT's performance here Saturday night. I thought he was excellent against McDavid and Draisaitl. There is something going around in our dressing room, a couple of guys being under weather, and we'll see here how many guys steps on the ice here at noon.
Patrick, with everything that this team has gone through, you mentioned the injuries, the inconsistent play. What confounds you about this team? Have you been able to figure it out? I mean, is it a puzzle there that still hasn't been solved? Yeah,
I think I see the resilience. I see the hunger and the drive in this group, and the fact that they are able to shake some of the tough losses off and come back the next game. I think that's an indication that they all like to be here. They want to play for the coach and they want to play for each other. And we all know that that winning solves a lot of issues. So
how confident are you then? How confident are you that this is a playoff team?
As I said, and I go back to Jim, what he said, if everything goes right, that I'm very confident that this is a playoff team. And obviously, we had our challenges the first half here. So we definitely is up for it here now. And I do believe with guys coming back healthy and performing, I do believe that this group is capable of being a playoff team. That being said, we're not in the playoff right now, so we have to have a stronger second half and pick it up.
Last question.
We don't hear. Okay, go ahead.
How do you evaluate the job that Rick's done this season? Do you see him as the long-term leader of this group?
I'm very proud of how Rick have handled the season here with under the circumstances. My relationship with him and the way we communicate every day and trying to find solutions, making our team better, pushing the right bottoms. I do believe that he's a good coach and I see him long term too. Obviously, it's a two-way street there, but up to this point, there hasn't been an urgency for us to do anything with the club option. But I'm sure we're going to sit down and talk about it there.
Thank you.